I ran against Donald Trump. And Terry is running against an acolyte of Donald Trump. Donald Trump. Donald Trump? Now he doesn't want to talk about Trump anymore. Well, I do. Donald Trump, or Trump, why Trump? Trump did this. That's who Donald Trump is. To Donald Trump, to Trump, former President Trump, he endorses Donald Trump. Donald Trump, I love this one. Trump to Donald Trump, to Donald Trump. Now Donald Trump, loyalty to Trump, and with Trump.
All right, Mark, to you first, then Chrissy, exact same question. Do Democrats, now we're 12 months away from the next election day, very consequential midterm elections coming up in the fall of 2022. Do the Democrats have to circle the wagon? It's pretty clear they're not going to win if they decide to run against Donald Trump and run on January 6th as a platform. You got to run on policy and substance.
The good news for Democrats is they pretty much all agree that last night was a wake-up call for their party and they need to do something different. The bad news for Democrats is there's very little agreement in the party about what that different thing is. And a lot of people are saying they should talk more about issues that voters care about. I think in general, regardless of what party you're in, that works pretty well. The problem, again, for Democrats is they're really divided about what voters care about.
Chrissy, same question to you, but I'll just put a different spin on it. They have to run on something besides running against Donald Trump. I think that's a bad strategy that was cooked up in D.C. From people that are supposedly in the know, and it didn't work. It didn't work in a very obvious way. Look at New Jersey right now. What are Democrats going to campaign on over the next 12 months?
If they were smart, they would stop calling any voters that don't agree with every aspect of their policy prescriptions racist. It doesn't work. Last night we saw the Attorney General of Virginia, a Cuban American. We saw the first female black woman get sworn in as, or will soon be sworn in as lieutenant governor. These are things you can't call Republicans racist when they're clearly not racist. It's just, it goes against, getting those swing independent voters. And if they're looking to win, they need to win the independent votes. And they cannot do that by calling independents racist.
Hey, I'm Rob Finnerty. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please join the conversation in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, too. Hit the bell icon to be alerted to breaking news. And remember, there's a whole lot more on Newsmax TV, America's fastest growing cable news network. Newsmax TV, where real news for real people.